are whispering to each other, that's never going to work out. It's just not going to work because that's not how I make bread. I make it so that people can enjoy the process and not stress about the process. Hi, it's just me again, Gary Leavitt with NutriMill, and we're going to talk about bread again today. And those of you who may have been paying attention over the last 30 or 40 years may have already seen me describe how I make bread, and I do it in a very simplified way. I was in Germany helping the Bosch company at the major factory. We were testing some new machines and some new iterations of the Bosch mixer, and they wanted to test bread making ability in this new configuration. And so we got out all the ingredients. They asked for my recipe, and when I got there, they had it all perfectly measured out. I said about 20 cups of flour and about 2/3 cup oil, 2/3 cup honey, and all this stuff. And they had it measured out and weighed to the gram, and they were ready. And I said, well, I need some more flour and I need some more of these other items. They said, well, this is the recipe you gave us. And when they measured a cup, they took a knife and scraped the top of the cup off, so it was exactly 1 cup. And when they watched me making bread, they are whispering to each other, that's never going to work out. It's just not going to work because that's not how I make bread. I make it so that people can enjoy the process and not stress about the process. The last thing I am is stressed if I'm making bread, because I've made good bread, I've made bad bread, I've made award-winning bread, I've won blue ribbons, I've had lots of notice for my bread, but I don't stress if it doesn't turn out, then I did something wrong, or I tried to do something different and I redid it. So we're going to start, and I'm just going to show you the simple, easy, we used to call it the foolproof bread recipe, and it really is foolproof. Can you ruin it? Of course you can ruin it. You can ruin anything. So today we're using some Palouse grain. They make and grow really good organic grains, glyphosate-free. We've been impressed with them. We support basically 2 companies here in the U.S. One is Palouse and the other is Azure. And both of them are incredible partners and friends, and we enjoy doing business with both. Because of the shipping ability of Palouse grains, you can find these on our website. We're using the Impact mill today. This is our newest mill. It won't be our only new mill because we're constantly innovating and trying to improve the milling business. We're going to start with milling some flour. Now I've pre-milled some flour. We're going to pre-mill a little bit more. We just did about 5 cups of flour in 2 minutes, and it will give you 12 cups about every 4 minutes. So it's just easy to use, cooler, faster, cleaner, self-cleaning, and simple to use. When you finish milling, make sure it's off, and you just lift this tab, pull it off of the thing. I tap the lid a little bit because flour will collect on the top of the lid. You don't want it blowing all over. Lift this latch, and then there's a little thumb tab. If you push on the thumb tab and lift up, it easily comes up. You have a little cyclo cup that filters the air so it blows clean air into your home. Just make sure that you clean that after every major use, and then we'll add this flour to what we already pre-milled, and we'll have enough for a batch of bread. So when we talk about simplifying the bread making process so that it's enjoyable and so that you can do it without stressing, and that you can do it so that it's easy, just remember, bread is only 2 things. I've asked hundreds of classes before, what ingredients do you need to make bread? And they'll say water and flour and oil and honey and yeast and salt and anything else they want to add. But literally, bread is flour and water. That's all bread is. Everything you add besides flour and water is only for taste and texture. So we could add a whole bunch of stuff today. We could make garlic bread just by adding a bunch of garlic salt to our recipe. Different things like that. But water controls the recipe in a Bosch mixer. In the Bosch mixer or the Artis mixer, the water controls how much bread you wind up with. So we're starting with about 4 cups of hot water today. And when I say hot water, it's not so hot that would burn your fingers, but it's very warm to the touch. That way, when you're finished kneading your dough, you wind up with warm dough. And that means it will rise faster, be easier to work with. And literally from the time, if I wasn't here talking and I just wanted to make some bread, from the time I grind the flour until it's risen, baked, and out of the oven is about an hour and 15 minutes. And that means that you could get home from a busy day at work and decide that the kids need some hot, fresh, homemade bread for dinner. And by the time you make it for 15 minutes, put it in loaf pans to rise, and then shower and get ready for dinner and put it in the oven, it's ready for dinner when the kids are ready to eat. Or even if you don't have kids, when you're ready to eat. Hot water is the first thing. Again, not so hot that would burn your finger, but hot so that it keeps the dough warm. Fresh flour. Okay, we have talked about fresh flour for, well, the 40 years that I've been doing this. Grains are the heart of our business. And we talk about the difference between grains whole and grains refined and processed. And they're two different food groups. The grains that are whole, every kernel of wheat that we just ground has vitamins and minerals, trace minerals, lots of stuff. And processed flour, you're removing all of that. And then you just notice that I was just dumping flour without measuring it onto the water. When you're making bread in a Bosch mixer or an Artis mixer, hot water, fresh flour. Third secret is you never measure your flour. The machine will tell you when you have the perfect amount of flour for the perfect amount of bread. Now, to the flour that I added on top of the water, we're going to do about 2/3 cup oil. And again, that can vary by as much as 1/4 cup. I don't like seed oils, so we try to use different types of oils. I think today we're using an olive oil. It'll make your bread a little heavier in taste. Coconut oil I really like. Experiment with any oil you like or any oil you have in your house. They will work. And then to that, we add about the same amount of honey as we do oil. And then exactly 2 tablespoons of yeast. Now here's the secret about yeast. If you want your bread to rise faster and you don't have a lot of time, add some more yeast. Yeast, you can only taste yeast in bread if you've over-risen the bread. Otherwise, it just gives you more boost. So sometimes I add a little bit more if I'm in a hurry. And it doesn't hurt the bread, doesn't taste differently, it just allows it to rise faster. Now, we have salt still. And hot water, fresh flour, never measure your flour, and then add the salt last. So we're going to just take this stirring on the pulse switch and just stir those ingredients together without splashing up a lot. With the momentary switch, you can get a 1/4 turn, a 1/2 turn, or a full turn, just depending on after you practice a little bit. And then I'm just going to let those ingredients all blend together well. The hot water, the yeast, the oil, and the honey will allow that yeast to start working. So when you get all those ingredients mixed together, to that mixture, we're just going to now cover that mixture with flour again. And when we cover that mixture with flour, we've got the yeast activating down there. Everything's working the way it should, and you've got a nice mixture. Now we add the salt. And again, 2 tablespoons of salt, 1 and 2. there was a little left over, so I'll just dump that in because we've got a lot of sweet in there and we've got a lot of salt now. Again, we're just going to stir this on momentary switch and stir those wet and dry ingredients together just so that they're ready to go. And then we're going to turn it on speed 1. At this point, I put the splash ring on because we don't want stuff flying all over the kitchen. The secret to the Bosch mixer is you just add flour until the bowl comes clean and you form a ball of dough on one side of the mixer. We didn't talk about the dough hook, and I'll show it to you when we finish, but the dough hook has 2 curved arm angles and it has a middle paddle. This is our new and improved solid stainless steel dough hook. And it's got a dough hook extender, so you can do as little as 1 pound of dough all the way up to 14 pounds of dough in the Bosch mixer. Now as we get a little heavier, I'm going to move it up to speed 2 and just keep adding flour until that bowl comes clean and you form a ball of dough on one side of the bowl. If you have a whole bunch of bread, and I think we actually started with a 6-cup recipe of water, and 6 cup will make about approximately 12 pounds of dough, between 11 and 12 pounds of dough. You can kind of see how that is now starting to clean the sides of the bowl. I'm going to add a little bit more flour, and then I'm going to take this splash ring off so you can get a better look at it. You can see how the dough cleans the sides of the bowl as it goes around, and as the bowl gets more and more clean and you let that knead for a second, you can see how one side of the bowl is becoming a little bit hollow and the dough is forming a ball and cleaning the entire inside of the bowl. That's when you know you have enough flour. So can you see how that is cleaning now, and the dough is basically on 3/4 of the bowl as it goes around, and you have a hollow spot in one side. So we can let this go a little bit longer, but I think we're going to be fine by just kneading it how we did. Now, hot water, fresh flour, never measure your flour, and add the salt last. And then there's one last thing, and that is never add flour after you've got a ball of dough formed. Now we do have these dough mats, and if you want to bake someone happy, you have a reusable silicone dough mat. Dough mats make it so that you don't have to have all the oils. If you want to test your dough, the secret to testing dough is what they call the window pane method. And you just take a little piece and make a little tiny scone size ball of dough and just stretch it until it's almost translucent. And if it's translucent and you can kind of see the light through it, that means that you have developed your gluten and you've got a good batch of bread, and you're going to have really good bread when it rises and bakes. So can you see the light through that? And that means you've got good dough. And then a German bread maker, I was watching him and he was teaching me, and he said, take it and just spin it and tuck it as you go. And just spin it like this. And that gives you that little round top, and then you have less of a seam to pinch on the bottom. If you want nice looking bread, drop it in the bread pan and then form it into the bread pan. It will form itself when it rises, but if you form it into the bread pan like that, then that should rise up to about here. So now that we've got the dough finished and that we're ready to bake everything, I wait until it's golden brown on the outside and then I take it out of the oven. And that's about a 30-minute process. So the rising process and the baking process are almost all of the time for bread making. Okay, now that we've risen and baked the bread, in the interest of time, I didn't raise it nearly as much as I would have liked to, but it's raised enough that it's going to be perfect. Now, I first learned to baste my bread after it comes out of the oven to keep it glossy and nice and moist with butter. Several people have told me that water accomplishes the same thing without adding more calories. And sometimes I've used water if I'm in a class where people are kind of fussy about that, but I prefer the taste of butter. In fact, I've never seen anything that was made with enough butter that wasn't delicious. That's just me. And there you go. Fresh bread, hot out of the oven. Teach your kids how to do it. Let them help you make bread, make it a family event, and get nutrition into their diets with fresh flour. And fresh flour is the secret to great bread. Always has been, always will be. The fresher the flour, the fresher the bread. Thanks for watching. Come see us again.